All right, so everybody is on page 721. 721. We're going to problem solve these, and then I'll give you some steps for it, and then we'll do this assignment.
I think the answer is
You guys got it figured out? Take a look.
Yes.
So that would be one of your
Each graph represents a function in factored form or intercept form. X minus p times x minus q. Sorry, I was just looking at the page number. Match the graph to the equation. Here's the equation and here's the graph. So, don't go to decimals just yet. Okay. Let's see what you can do without it. First off, I want to label these as up or down, right? So it doesn't show an arrow, which I hate, but there's arrows here. So this one is said to be opened up. And so this has a positive A. Right? This one also opens up. And then these two open down. You have to know it. So, James, what are you doing? What are you doing? Close your Chromebook. Look. If this isn't the first thing that you think of when you see these, whether they open up or down, that's one of the defining characteristics, right? Is that one of the first things you guys saw was which one's up and which one's down?
Yeah.
Now, when we look at the equation, we can say which ones are up and which one's down. Letter A, would that be an up graph or a down graph?
Down.
This would be a down graph. How do you know this should be a down graph? The negative here means this is a down graph. So A matches to either Roman numeral 3 or Roman numeral 4. Which one is it?
It's 4.
Nolan, which one is it?
Yeah.
You think it's this one? Yep. Okay, what makes you think this equation matches to this graph? Okay, now if I took both of these, I'm going to do it on the board. Capital letter A. If I set them out and I make them both equal 0, and I solve them, like we did with the zero product property, add 1, add 2. I've been doing this up on the board, but I don't know how many of you are with me here. I get that I should have points at positive 1 and positive 2. Does Roman numeral 3 have dots at 1 and 2?
Yeah. No. Number 4 has one.
Yes. So you guys, yeah, Roman numeral 4 is A. All right. So, it's really not that difficult. It's not like really complicated math, matching parabolas to their equations in intercept form. This is called intercept form because when you solve these, making them equal 0, you see the x-intercept. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Roman numeral 4 matches with letter A. Maybe I mark it off to say that that one's already taken. And now we'll go to letter B. Do we think this one opens up or opens down?
Opens up.
This one opens up. James, how do you know it opens up? Shoot. Because there's no negative right there. It's positive in front of here. There's no negative sign. So this is an open up graph. Yeah, so it's either little 1 or a little 2 here.
Let's compliment that. Right now, that's our on one.
Everyone's better wrong.
I know, I gotta do the work.
Yeah, I can do the work too. I can see it. Okay. I suggest you do it on paper. Okay, so I gotta make these equal 0. Have you done it? Yeah. I'm gonna go here see. Are we gonna be alright right there? Okay, check in. Alright, x plus 1 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. So this time, when I solve these parentheses, I get x is negative 1. Add 2, and x is positive 2. Which graph of the first two is that negative and positive?
It's number 2. That's like that. This like that's 2.
Roman numeral 2. Negative 1, positive 2 are the intercepts. So that's called intercept form. Here's the negative 1. Here's the positive 2. So I'm looking for a positive equation with answers of negative 1 and negative 2, and it's this, letter B. So this is little Roman numeral 2. So I'm going to mark that one out. You guys need to do C and D. Negative sign in the front. That negative sign means the arrows go down.
Okay, believe I figured out all the answers.
So many context clues in equations. So much of this algebra work really isn't about math. It's about getting the context clues, knowing the signs, the vocabulary, the representation. So much of it's about just knowing the real characteristics of the graph. Is this blocking you, Nathan?
Wait, miss.
Like, how is it not? Write steps down all the time, word for word, perfectly, and have no idea what they mean. And they go to read them, or they actually never read them, and it's just pointless. You're just wasting your hand strength, your energy. So, right. So, if having the steps out, Ari, I think he answered your question better than me. If you want to use open notes on your quiz and like having these steps will help you like figure out what to do on factored form, then yes, write it. It's Monday.
So it's Monday?
The quiz is Monday. He wasn't in it. Vladimir did not vote. I would. You could. Yeah. Okay. Intercept form. So, if A was negative, then we would know the arrows point down. If A is positive, the arrows point up. Here's what I was just doing in that activity. I was setting the factors equal to 0 and solving them. So I've kind of just written a written description about what I just did with you. I take the parentheses, set them equal to 0, and solve. Yeah. 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 So, you could put it in the open white space in your book. I see a couple people doing that. A lot of people are putting it in their notebook where they do bow work. You want to have it somewhere so Monday you can find it during the quiz if you want to use your notes. Yeah. And then put your phone right away. You can't have your phone out during the quiz, so the picture's not really helpful.
Well, Miss, I'm gonna ride my.
If you're if your family has a printer at home that can print pictures from your phone and your teacher lets you use notes, like that's a total option. Like some people are doing that, taking pictures, printing their phone pictures and using that for their notes. All right, put your phones away now.
I need to go take a photo. No, it's not.
Like we have the last two assessments you did, I gave a full practice test that looks exactly like the quiz that's happening. It's 20 questions.
Quiz, 20 questions?
Yeah. Okay. So you set it equal to 0 and solve. And then the directions are going to say, make a graph. But really, there's lots of different types of questions associated with this form. When you solve, you can plot these zeros on the x-axis. So you plot the answer. And then if you're trying to draw a parabola, you're going to find the middle. You're going to see what's in between those 2 points. And you're going to do a dashed line in the middle. We did that yesterday. Then wherever that middle is, you're going to plug that number into the equation both here and here. And that's going to tell you the vertex. When you're ready, we're going to do number 1. Sorry. And this is the assignment today. When you're ready, you can go into that and just start to see what this is all about. See what it's all about.
Oh, wait.
What's that?
Yesterday.
It's similar. Not exactly the same.
5, 8, 29, 32. Interesting. Yep. Hey. Alright, so I believe the answer is selected. Oh,
But yeah.
49. Oh.
Are we ready? All right, here we go. Totally. That will not be best for your sake. You guys take a break from Desmos for one day.
I was thinking if there's anything.
No, do it on paper. Do it on paper.
Everybody.
You guys have a quiz coming up on paper. You have to be able to do this on paper. Don't even look. You aren't gonna. Yep, it is. Okay. There you go. So it says find the x-intercepts. These first two are graphed for you, and then it gets to be more difficult. You guys don't need my help on number 1 and number 2. If you feel frozen, stop. You're totally capable of doing it. I've told you enough. I have examples on the board here. Find the intercepts. Actually, you don't even have to do any work. It's already graphed for you. Do you know where x-intercepts are on a graph? These two do. Anybody on this side of the room know? Really? You know where the x-intercept is on number 1? Here's the x-axis. Here's an intercept. I'll label it. You guys should too. X intercept. See, it says find the x-intercept. And I gotta count it. 1, 2, -3.
How many chapters are in the book?
Probably. We covered a little bit of all of them. Actually, after chapter 9, we start reviewing pretty soon. It's not the last week of school, it's the week before the last week of school. Yeah, let's look here. Here's another x-intercept. So there's 2 x-intercepts. Abby, what are you doing? No, do it on paper first. You guys gotta stop. You clicked through that. Yesterday, that assignment went way too quick. You're not looking at it.
I waited until the end of the class to submit it, you know?
Okay. Anyway, here's your x-intercepts. Axis of symmetry. Can anybody describe what the axis of symmetry looks like? Yeah, it's the middle, guys. So they don't. If we were to draw it by hand, we'd show the dashed line. This dashed line is the axis of symmetry. You guys, I just did that because I practiced it a lot. I just see the center right away. Did you guys see the middle as quick as I do? The axis of symmetry was where x is -1. All right, and that's the answer. So we did 1 x-intercept, 2 x-intercept, and we found the very middle, the axis of symmetry. Now y'all do the next one without me. It does, it just is in between 2 points. So use 0.5 or say half. Have you guys ever heard of midpoint formula? Like, when things get more complicated, you can find the midpoint. But really, we could just count. So we're at 2 and 5, and then 3 and 4, and right in between 3 and 4, 3.5. Right in the center. Said he got it wrong. I was wondering, how do you know he got it wrong? Make a graph by hand. No cheat codes here, no Desmos and no big ideas online. Let's just graph it by hand. We gotta label the vertex and stuff. Alright. Here we go, drawing your X and Y axis. No, I don't think you can make it in the middle. They gave you an odd number of blue lines, which really is frustrating to some people. Maybe there is. That's 4, -4, 4, -4. Alright, now we're going to use the steps that you wrote down. What was step 1? What was it? Yeah, solve those out, set them equal to 0, and solve them. So we're on number 5. Step 1, you're going to set equal to 0 and solve. So I did that on the board here, and we're matching them up. You're going to do x plus 4 equals 0 and solve. X plus 1 equals 0 and solve. X-intercepts. Yep. The steps from the board. Some people took a picture, some people wrote it down, some people just looked at it. That's what we're doing now. I'm going to minus. What was the question? What did you ask him? Everybody's my favorite. What kind of teacher has favorite? Oh. Everybody has their own good qualities to be appreciated. Alright, so I had to do the opposite of adding and minus, and I got -4. Opposite of adding and minus, and got -1. So these are going to be the x-intercepts. -4, -1. We have to figure it out ourselves. So, what are we going to do? Where's the middle? So step 2, what did it say? It just said find the middle? Yeah. What did step 2 actually say?
Step 2 is in part. That's step 2.
What's step 3?
Is find the middle of the interval and draw a dash line.
Yeah. It just says find middle. It doesn't give you any advice as to how to find the middle. But you guys don't need to be told how to find a middle. Look at it. Where's the middle? All right, 1. It's right, and James already said it. It's going to be halfway through. There it is. So that's -1. That's -2. That's -2.5. That's the axis of symmetry. Is -2.5. So I can kind of see the parabola. Do you guys think this one's going to have arrows up or arrows down? Still a debate. Arrows up because it's a positive A. There's no negative here in the front. It's when there's a negative in the front that the arrows go down. So I can kind of picture it already. It's going to swoop like that. I just don't know how low it goes. So we're on step 4 now. We have to plug in negative 2.5. Figure out where the vertex is. I'm skipping all the way to step 4. Did you plug in negative 2.5 yet, David? Number 5. We have to plug this in so we can find the vertex. The most important point in a parabola is that turning point where it turns around. It goes from high to low of that. So, all right, so let's plug it in. The equation is y equals negative 2.5 plus 4 parentheses, and we're going to plug in the negative 2.5 in both the x spot plus 1. So I'll highlight where I'm plugging in. Nathan, you do it. We're plugging it in there and there. I've already written it out here. Can you do that, Matt? Wish I had your calculators. Get your calculators out of your backpack.
I don't know.
Get your calculators out of your backpack. We're gonna multiply decimal here, I think. That's the answer. Oh, yep, that's true.
You know, there's people that actually
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? It was negative 1.5. Where'd you see that?
So I'm putting in, alright, so you figured out the negative 2.5. You put it in here and here. You simplify it, and that tells you the y for the vertex. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. No, we're just low. Oh my god, I couldn't do math on these people for now. Great.
I'm gonna need someone with a calculator to verify.
Bro, you answered both of those. How do you get 15? Yeah, the bottom of
1.5.
Yeah,
You guys remember you do have access to a calculator for everything, but if you have to multiply decimals, remember you can just take the decimal out, multiply it like a whole number is, and there's 2 units to the right of the decimal, so I just did 2 units to the right in my final answer. So you can do it by hand still. Yeah, where is 2.25? So it's on the dashed line. Here's the y-axis. Here's -1. Here's -2. 2.25 is just a quarter of the way down, right about there. And then we're going to connect it, try to make it smooth and not pointy, and there's your parabola. So if you have the intercepts, you can just find the center, plug in that center, and it tells you the vertex.
that was very pointy.
Mine is pointing?
Yeah.
I felt that way about it. Okay. So I went from here down 1, down 2, down 2.25. Domain is all real numbers. Range is y is greater than negative 2.25. All right, y'all try number 6. So 6 is easier. I think 6 and 7 are both easier. They don't have decimals in them. I'd really love to see you guys self-start, plot the point, make the graph without copying me. It's 5 through 8. Oh, this one does have a center. Does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. No, it's not. Oh yeah, it's right in the middle. So then you plug in 0. The page. Try this one. Follow the same steps. You can do it.
Zero. Battery 0.
I'm flying point.
Oh. Alright, that's my line, guys. That's my. What is this book for at page 40? Dude, I know. I need domain expansion.
Go the fourth wrong.
Go.
Well, just 0. And then you take that 0 and you plug it in the x's. Oh, get it back. You think it's 0, 0, 2. No. When you plug in 0 here and here, what do you get?
0.
No, it's multiplication.
Times 0 is 0.
Minus each other.
Is this a 2?
0.
I think it's supposed to be down at 4.
This.
Alright, let me show you. Alright, so for the people working in the progress. Now, the center is at 0. So our axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Now, when you plug 0 into this, a lot of students are getting the wrong number out, and that's a math error. That's not a vocabulary error. That's not a graphing error. We're making a math error. So this would be y equals 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 2. This is multiplication right here. So that's negative 2 times 2. David? Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. You added them. You and a lot of other people. It's multiplication. This is multiplication in here. So I put the 0 in. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. There it is. It's positive, so the arrows go up. There it is. Doesn't look all that different from the first one. Still kind of funny.
I know it's definitely like.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I actually think that you were ahead of the game here.
Oh,
Nathan here as well. Cause I didn't see yours. I didn't look at anybody here in the middle. But as I circled the room, you're doing awesome.
oh my gosh, it's always.
Now try number 7. You know where to start. Yeah. Both equal to 0.
Yeah. Everybody got to that.